What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to For Strategy Gaming. This is the second game here between Rage Seala and ESC's GoOdy. This time we're here on the map Mutalisk with GoOdy spawning in the 3 o'clock spawn location as our blue Terran player. And over here in the 12 o'clock we've got Seala as the purple Zerg player. Now last game we did see Seala unfortunately lose pretty hard. He took some really strong economic damage from GoOdy. Blue Flame Hellion Harass really set Seala behind so far. We saw in excess of 50 workers killed throughout the course of the game. So kudos to GoOdy. Unfortunately Seala not responding by getting any static defenses and spine crawlers, or having the ability to use queens, or even just chilling at the base with a couple of roaches would have helped him quite a bit. But again, he didn't do any of those things, and as a result took heavy economic damage. In addition to that, in our first big engagement when Seala pushed up against GoOdy's mech army, he did pretty decently. He was able to a decent amount of damage to the unsieged tanks of GoOdy, but then he continued to push against GoOdy, walking into heavy siege tank numbers, and that set him far behind in terms of resources lost. And then in addition to that, we saw that economic damage, and GoOdy was so far ahead, Seala decided, you know what, I'm really far behind. It's going to be hard for me to come back in the game, so let me just try to win it here. Let me try to break GoOdy, and he wasn't able to do so. We saw GoOdy with just crazy tank numbers, plus a lot of ghosts laying down a lot of snipes, and Seala's army got demolished in that last engagement, our last game. But that was game number 1. This is game number 2. And once more, I would like to reiterate that as far as I know, these games are independent of each other. This is not a best of series, at least in the manner that I have received the games. It doesn't appear to be a best of series, but who knows? It could be. I could be missing a game. I don't think it really matters. Either way, we'll be watching some wonderful StarCraft, and you guys will enjoy it, or else. All right, hatchery is up now for Seala. He did go hatch first, and immediately following with that spawning pool. Let's keep an eye on that extractor timing, see how early he plans on getting that metabolic boost for his Zerglings, or if he's going to just drone up and go for a heavy econ opening instead. GoOdy now moving out with his scouting SCV. He's finished that first Arax. He gets some Marines actually rallied on over to Seala's base. He may be going with a little bit of bunker harass. At least that appears to be his initial intention. I'm not sure if he's going to be able to do much at all, though. That first Marine making its way across at the moment. SCV chilling out. We got a couple of drones coming down to try to intercept that SCV. Obviously, as we can see, that Overlord has scouted out and just kind of dancing around. This is a problem now because Seala's spent a lot of time not mining. All those guys could be mining right now, but they are not, as Seala is instead chasing down this one SCV. And this is kind of the awesome thing, if we're looking at a Terran player's perspective. Obviously, that is not awesome for Seala. That just by pulling down with your first Marine and one SCV, just pulling off a single SCV, can force a Zerg player to pull a lot of guys off the resource line and severely hinder his mining as a result. And that's exactly what we saw there. Now, trying to come out with 2 bunkers, actually, and sandwiching some Marines in between, and I'm not sure that there's any space at all. There might be just a little smidgen of room in there for those Zerglings to move, but it does look like these bunkers will complete. Now, what GoOdy is actually able to do in terms of damage with us, I am unsure at the moment. He's trying to push forward right now, but we do have that one spine crawler coming on through. And here's the Queen as well. That first bunker is finished, and those Marines just out of the range of that hatchery. That is very disappointing. He's going to be trying to leapfrog these bunkers now as he drops down another one. Continuous Marine production there out of just one Rax as well, as he works his way up into a 1-1-1 build. Very interesting build here from GoOdy. This isn't 2 Rax pressure. This is a single Rax worth of pressure. And as you can see, doing quite a bit of damage to Seala now. He will be trying to get up this bunker and salvage this one before it gets dropped to that spine crawler. As you can see, that is unfortunately just out of the range there of those Marines in that bunker. But here we go. Second bunker is up. Marine's going to transfer over immediately. And I hope he's not going to even bother. No, he's not going to bother trying to salvage that. He wants to save it for the point where Seala eventually, at some point, Seala is going to be trying to overwhelm these forces. Not happening quite yet, but he will be trying to do that at some point. We can see lots of damage going down on the hatchery, a bit of damage going down on this bunker as well. At the same time, we've got a transition here into a tech lab there in that starport. That means GoOdy will be coming out with some higher tech. Here it is right now. Seala trying to finally overwhelm. I'm not sure if he has enough right now. They're doing a bit of damage to this bunker, trying to get a surround on this bunker as well. This one's finally burning. He's going to be able to force the Marines out of there, trying to force that salvage. Salvage doesn't get laid down. Marines popping out of this bunker, continuing to pull back as Seala able to overwhelm, but he did take some heavy losses as a result of that. Let's take a quick look at the resources lost tab. Overall, GoOdy is behind. Obviously, that's primarily due to the fact that he lost all those bunkers. I believe there were 3 that he didn't end up getting a salvage on a single one. Here comes that transition now, and I don't know, is Seala going to be prepared? He is coming out with that evolution chamber, and that is exactly what he needs because he does not have a layer right now, and he will lack the cloak detection, as cloaked Banshee follow-up is what we're seeing here from GoOdy. Now Seala, he does have an opportunity to attempt a counterattack and try to do some damage. Not sure if it's actually going to work, but that is something that he could try out. And there we go, Hellions moving out. We'll begin some scouting, trying to keep up this harass. We've got Marines spotting the edge of the base, trying to prevent any Overlord scouts from getting in and actually spotting this tech lab and these Banshees with that cloak research and all that is going on. Hellions trying to move in, scouting that there is no third right now. We'll be trying to move in over here and do a bit of damage. Getting poked by that one spine crawl, a couple queens moving forward. It's going to force those Hellions. Did you guys like that? That was a nice little ramp up there. It's going to force those Hellions back. Now that cloak research almost finished here, and GoOdy's going to be able to push out with these cloak Banshees very shortly, but the evolution chamber is already up. Now we've got no spore crawlers out yet, but the second that he sees those Banshees, I'm assuming he's going to drop those, and I'm not sure how much damage they're actually going to be able to do, given the fact that as soon as those come up, they're probably likely going to force GoOdy back with those Banshees, but he will be moving out with at least 2, looks like 3 cloaked Banshees. Also preparing to follow up here with an expansion. Seala preparing to spread that creep. He has taken some damage to this hatchery, but that is okay and safe for now. Metabolic boost finally making its way out here for Seala. He's very oversaturated here in the main. Would like to see him get his third, and there we go. Third base is coming up here for Seala. But here come those cloak Banshees. First 2 already in play. There is the cloak. We got 2 spore crawlers dropped immediately the second that he saw Banshees, but these queens are in danger. Forced to push back right now, and he's actually going straight for the spore crawler. Gonna be attempting to drop another one and another one there, and watch as GoOdy for the second game in a row is laying the smackdown in terms of economic damage. GoOdy doing a lot of econ damage right now, forcing another cancel there from Seala, killing off that worker. Dropping the cloak for 1 as he is no longer having any more energy. That's going to allow those queens to move on up. We got 1 spore crawler being unrooted and moved up there to try to help deal with this. That's going to force him back. He was able to do a bit of damage there. 4 kills there, 5 kills there. Needs to stay away from that spore. That's in cloak range. There we go. Another Banshee coming out here, and this is again more and more difficult here for Seala. Even with that cloak detection, 3 Banshees can do a bit of damage, but he's got enough energy to lay down some transfuses. And I think he should be okay. Still pretty decent engagement there from GoOdy. Got to keep in mind, GoOdy didn't lose anything there. Did not lose a single Banshee. He's just going to pull back for some repairs, and he can continue this damage in the future or move out with a secondary push and include those Banshees in that. I expect him to try to keep up this Banshee harass zone and do a little bit of damage. Now, we do have a Spire coming out that is coming out actually here at that natural expansion. The third base over here for Seala finally up, and we'll be getting that saturated right away. As I mentioned prior, he was pretty heavily oversaturated in the main, so transferring some workers certainly going to be a good idea. Now, what do we have for GoOdy? Well, some more Banshee harass about to commence. He's actually got 4 Banshees right now. Also coming out with this Marine tank composition. He does have Siege Tech finished already, and the Banshees prepare to move forth with some engagements here. Let's see what they're able to do. Those queens a little bit leery about engaging. Should be seeing. Oh no, not even gonna bother trying to cloak. He's just sacking these Banshees. No, just deciding to finally pull back as he realizes there's still a bunch of energy for more transfuses, and he's really not going to be able to do much damage. So he just lost 1 Banshee there, was able to kill off a queen. That's not really a fair trade-off, but still able to do a little bit more damage. Nonetheless, Seala is still behind in terms of resources lost, and as we can see, GoOdy was able to kill off a total of 9 workers so far this game, and moving forward now into the second expansion, that third base, able to kill off more and more workers, and GoOdy, again, gosh, with his damage here, just tearing through Seala. Economically speaking, he's doing fantastic. Now, we've got that transition finally prepared for Seala as he's coming out with those Mutalisks. Mutalisk 5 Mutalisks will be coming out right now. Also in the level 1 air upgrade for his units there. The level 1 flyer attack, the Zerg air unit attack. 3 Banshees are heading back home. Hellions will now be moving up to attempt some more harass over here at Seala's expansion. Don't know if he has that blue flame. That's an excellent question. I don't believe he does. Yeah, the answer is no to that. And mech heavy transition. So GoOdy will still be going mech heavy. He has killed off 2 overlords there with that Viking, as you can see sitting there with those 2 kills. So that is unfortunate, most definitely for Seala. And here we go, trying to move on up. Now we are going to see those Mutas finally try to engage. He's got an opportunity to do a bit of damage here. At the same time, some economic damage going out. Spieling's able to move on down and help deal with those Hellions. And here are the Mutas. Are they going to be able to do much at all, though? What's the total count at the moment? Sitting at 11 Mutalisks. It's not going to be quite enough to engage that missile turret, plus Viking defense here that we are seeing for GoOdy. He is pretty well defended over here. He could start to harass over in this position, though. Definitely has that opportunity here for these mutas, and let's see what he decides to do. GoOdy finally making his way down to that natural expansion, getting that nice and saturated, coming out with some turret defense to protect those tanks, and of course the tanks to protect against any ground units. Now I do believe we did see a Roach Warren, so I want to keep an eye out for that. There it is, the Roach Warren is up, so we may be seeing some Roach transition at some point. Muta's just kind of scouring the edge of the base. He's basically checking the defenses here for GoOdy. He just wants to see where are the defenses, where are the units, where's vulnerable is what he's looking for. He's looking for vulnerable spots to try to exploit, and as he works out those muta numbers, he's going to have a better opportunity to do so. Now sitting at 14, and the level 1 weapons upgrade for his Arians just about finished, working his way up to 18 mutas as these 4 are in production at the moment. And now he's feeling pretty confident here to engage those turrets again. As those muta numbers get higher and higher, it becomes much easier to actually engage these static defenses. He needs to be careful though, he's all clumped up. We got a Thor coming, so Seala needs to be very careful, taking a little bit of splash damage there. Managing to pull back though before he loses any. I don't think he lost a single muta there. And we do also have a 4th base coming out for Seala. So Seala trying to get a strong economic advantage here, trying to get himself ahead. He has taken again some losses economically. 19 workers killed so far in total this game. Look at that transfuse, a mass transfuse there by those queens. You know, Seala sitting queen heavy as a method of dealing with those banshees early on. Now has a great way to kind of up the health there of these muta numbers, and these muta numbers are getting stronger and stronger. 19 right now. Transition into roaches about to pop out. We also have some ground missile attacks coming out, level 2 in fact, as well as the level 2 upgrades for his air units. Now where are we in upgrades for GoOdy? GoOdy is 1-1 for his mech. The bio doesn't have any upgrades, but that makes sense because he's not really going for bio focus here. He is once again going to be playing that mech game and preparing to mobilize at the moment. And actually, he's prepared for a push, moving down with a few SCVs for repair as well. This is a good opportunity, a good window here for Seala to do a little bit of damage. Spotting the push, though, with this creep spread, deciding to just pull back. I actually do wish that he stayed there and just did a little bit of damage. The mutas are so quick. He could have pulled back in time and still been able to defend against this, but deciding that he wants to make sure he is fully prepared ahead of time. There's a scan from GoOdy, spotting those creep tumors, also spotting where those Mutalisks are, and here comes the engagement, move forward with those roaches. Mutas magic boxing over the Thors. Roach is able to get right up under those tanks and just overwhelm GoOdy's forces here. GoOdy does not have much of a lineup behind that, and he just got demolished there on the ground, and GoOdy just calling the GG right away. GoOdy was able yet again to open up with quite a bit of economic damage. Now we saw a transition from his opponent Seala into Muta Roach, and unfortunately the push here from GoOdy at about the 17-minute mark proved quite unsuccessful as he was caught off guard and with not enough splash damage to deal with the heavy Roach numbers. And here we go, we're going to see those Roaches push on in and those magic boxing mutas and just completely overwhelm GoOdy's forces and force the GG. Alright guys, that was game 2 here between GoOdy and Seala. We'll be moving on to game 3 in just a moment. As always, if you like the content, please subscribe. Thank you for watching. Keep watching and keep owning.